be looking forward to it. That's going to be a great event. So hopefully you guys can make that. And above all, be safe, have a great night, and tune in to Living Loud for Andy, and come back in 2 weeks at the same time, same bat channel, and we'll be having some more fun with Kicker equipment. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night.
And here we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, man. There we go. Always something with the audio. But thank you guys for tuning in, hanging out. And, man, what an unmasked show with Joe and John and a little bit of help from Brandon, Ernie, and the gang. We're going to have fun tonight talking more about the LX amplifiers. If you guys got questions, drop them down below. And I got to do the intro. I got to get set up. I'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Thank you guys for joining the green team. Man, Shannon, and now we got Brandon Banks is back. You guys are awesome. It's Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday. And it's not Tuesday without some Kicker stuff. It just doesn't hit the same. So thank you, Kicker, for keeping the Unmasked show going and just doing what you do, man. It is just an amazing team effort that they put together for that show. And Joe is the guy to ask about KICKER amplifiers. You know, it's just, that is his thing. And man, that AP, audio precision dyno, that is the dyno to test an amplifier on. And man, just so much to learn from that. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Man, you guys are awesome. We got Kip up in here. Kyle's on Facebook. You guys are awesome. There they are. 90 minutes-ish. You know, it brought me back. You know, I love the long stream. That's why it used to be 10:30. And they were like, oh, it's going to be an hour long. Okay. 90 minutes-ish tonight, man. Thank you, William, Kip. Hey, nothing like a schmedium and a cold beverage twisted tea, man. Thank you, William. Thank you, Kip, for being here. You guys are awesome. Simon Staley, what is up? Man, I missed you guys. I had a crazy weekend. I'll get into it. It's always nonstop. Luca, how you been? Thank you for tuning in. Hope you've been well, sir. Craig, I can see it in the future. Bright for you, man. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate you and love doing this stuff, and I will not stop. Thank you for hanging out, Craig. Schmedium. And he knows that sometimes you just got to step back and look at it. Would you just look at it? Would you look at that? Just look at it. And you know what I say when I see a woofer like that, and I say, would you look at that? Would you just look at that? And man, that L7X18, I got to play it. That thing was getting it today.
In my hand, make the bad things good for the weekend.
Just wait. Oh, yeah. Man, that thing is just, it's moving hair without a care. Like, it is night and day. Like, just actually, you know, the meter's one thing. It's one story. And then you have somebody sit in the car and you put them by the window. You know, it's a weird, small little car. So you got to sit way back like this. But it moves it, man. And with both windows down, playing normal music, how I'm going to demo it, not just 17 hertz, which is wasted information, mind you. But either way, yes, Tuesday, I had to take it out, put it back in last night. That's how long my weekend was. Otherwise, doing well, and appreciate you guys being able to tune in. Kyle, thank you for tuning in on Facebook. How you been? Appreciate you guys. Jason, he has always got the greatest questions for all the shows. I know where I can get an amp with a damping factor of 1500. I wonder if I should get it just to see if I can hear a difference. You know, damping factor, whatever. You get it. And you know, I like how Joe went into that, and it's like way over my head stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, I feel like some people just kind of based it off of that, of like the sound quality of the amplifier. But there's so many aspects. It's like, what is the best woofer? You know, okay, and maybe in that situation, this situation, amplifiers are a little bit more cut and dry, but there's still a lot of moving parts to make sound. And I feel like it's more than just that. And I feel like with tonight's test of them demonstrating how the amplifiers are tested at KICKER, you know, it's not just 40 hertz and a test tone in 1000 kilohertz, you know, 1000 hertz just for mids and highs. That's why, like, the 81 dyno is great. It's easy. We love it. It is the certified dyno, especially YouTube. I mean, Big D made it a big thing, and it's easy to understand. The AP has a lot more to it, and you kind of got to know what to look for. You know, you can look at it all you want, but you got to know what is what. But it shows you so much more of an amplifier, and it's just performance and how it's going to work at all the frequencies. You know, I always heard from people saying, you know, man, as soon as I took out blah, blah amp, my system plays the lows better, and it's actually a lesser power amplifier technically. And I feel like that does come down to that of everything of how it's designed, but also with the amount of power that it's outputting, eliminating crossovers being a a thing that would may be different between the two. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you, man. And honestly, I feel like 9 chances out of 10, once you're over that 150 dB, it's really hard to hear a difference. Maybe you can. When the woofers are just stressing and it's just a lot of distortion, then it's detectable. But even at that point, with bass, it's a little bit different compared to like your mids and highs. That's where you really want something to be super quality, because your ears are really sensitive around those frequencies, not below 40 hertz. They're just not. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I know we're late. I feel so bad, but hey, we're here. We're here to have fun. And man, it's kind of crazy. Let me see here. With KICKER, I know they shared a few things, and I wanted to bring it up. Stillwater Strong Relief, they are putting this out here so you guys can take a look at it. Donate if you can, because the whole town of Stillwater really got hit. And it's kind of crazy with what happened there, what happened here at the same time, with the fires, the windstorms. The same night, my parents' house flooded from a water main break. Literally after I got off the show with you guys. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but that was a lot of water just coming in from the road. And yeah, the whole basement was flooded, and that happened at the same night. Like, I get a call at 2 a.m. Mom's calling me, hey, I think we got a water leak, so I'm like, should I bring the Python? Nah, it's not that bad. I'll just go over there, shut the water off, and take a look at it. And no, it was like the Titanic sinking. So that was fun, but it's just crazy. That happened at Stillwater. So go check out the KICKER page on Facebook. Scroll down, it's like 2 posts ago, and if you got money or just want to share it, that would be awesome to help the people down in Stillwater that were affected. They lost their homes. I feel like almost everybody at KICKER is okay, but still, city of Stillwater is not very big, so a lot of people got hit. And yes, and it's awesome that they're doing that, and kind of crazy, man. We have to just appreciate everything that we have, and everything's material. It is. All right, let me make sure. Oh, you know what? Is that working? Is it working? Let's see. Okay, that is working. Awesome. Just not that many comments. I know, I feel bad. I'm like usually like way far behind. If you guys are here, drop a comment down below. Appreciate you guys. Kyle, from my Kansas brother. Kansas. Thank you, KICKER, for all the prizes every week. Absolutely, man. And thank you, KICKER. Thank you, KICKER. Changed my email and forgot to update my green team billing. Oops. Okay, I was going to say, I know, a lot of it's auto stuff, and, I forget too. Hey, appreciate that you're here. Thank you for your support, all you guys. Excuse me. Eric's throwing the explodes for Dubby. Thank you for tuning in, Dubston, Eric. Cracker, appreciate you. Sorry I'm late. Been out here working, but listening and waving a hand. Thank you, Cracker. Appreciate you. I know you and Vicky both got your winnings, so we're down to 3rd and 4th place, and I'm working on 3rd place. And man, it's awesome that we were able to do that 10K giveaway. And it's so far it's just going 1st, 2nd. 1st, 2nd, for the prizes. So it is cool. But I wanted to give it an option either way. Keep your guys' emails open. You guys have been doing awesome so far. Cornut, sorry, my throat. 17 months on the green team. Man, it's getting close. I'm going to have to make a little thing for a 2-year person, man. That is awesome. Thank you, Cornut, for just keeping it kicking, man. Yeah, she, and her, I felt bad. I did not have the GoPro in the car. It's actually sitting behind me. Usually it's always in there for that. And her friend got a demo in the car too before that, and she took it too. I'm like, all right, I'm not loud enough. And speaking of that, funny story actually. After I put in the L7X18 in Cookie Monster last night, and I did it all by myself. Kayla didn't have to help me, it's heavy, but I did it once. I know what to do, and that's the cool thing about that. Even if I blow it up, I can pull it out by myself. which is always great with a, 18-inch woofer. Went to Walmart, did some demoing, and then I took the back way home. You know what I mean? Because I'm testing this thing. I'm like, I just need to relax and get some bass in. You know what I mean? That gets me through life. And I took the long way home, and I didn't bolt my box down because I'm like I'm still playing with stuff. So I pull over at this church. I mean, granted, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I pull over in this church parking lot, push the box back, and I'm getting ready to get back in my car, and I just see lights. I'm like, oh no. Oh no, don't book me, Dano. Don't book me. And he's like, are you broken down? I'm like, no, I was just pushing my box in the back, pushing my box back. I was like, I got a subwoofer system in there. You got to kind of talk dumb to people, because they don't know I got a kicker in there. What's that? And he's like, oh, well, we didn't get any sound ordinance calls, so must not be loud enough. I am not lying to you. I didn't know what to say. I was like, yeah, that's about right, because you don't want to be rude to an officer. But yeah, I was like, yeah. So that's saying something. I mean, no, I usually don't sit in one place. That is what gets police called. You got to be respectful when you're playing bass, You just have to. She did take it like a champ, man. Thank you, Blaine, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. How you been? Always watching the show, man. Adrian, 50% off coupon tonight or what? That is only on Kicking It with Andy every other Tuesday in the KICKER UnMasked time slot. So just like how we watched KICKER UnMasked tonight, next Tuesday when I'm on in that slot, that's when the 50% off discount code and all the other KICKER UnMasked prizes are on there. Andy, have you tried it? Only 1 amp. With how it is, whenever I had the old Solo X on, I know we're supposed to talk about LX 3000. I got other things to talk about, but you know what? This is why I love doing what I do. With the old Solo X18, and I had it on 2 Warhorses, right? Just same setup, but instead of running a dual 1 and 1 and 1, it was a dual 2. They didn't have the dual 1 in the 07 version, so I was stuck with 2 and 2. But before I put in the second amplifier, I just wired it to 1. And I was like, oh, wow. And I'm like, am I really going to get much more power out of this? And then I put the second one on there, and I'm like, yeah, it's about the same. I felt like a small difference, and the efficiency, my voltage wasn't dropping quite as low because each amplifier was at a higher resistance, impedance, even with music, it was just higher. So each amplifier was running more efficiently and together running, pulling less power. And it's going to be the same concept with the new 18. Instead of being at 2 ohm and 2 ohm, I'm at 1 ohm and 1 ohm. I could be at half ohm. I did that. I had it at half ohm on the 12 in Kayla's car. And in that enclosure, it was just way too much. But with my enclosure and how it's designed for the 18 and the same amount of power, if not more, it's kind of perfect, and in a sense, it's like wiring at Warhorse at half ohm, but getting the efficiency of being at 1 ohm. And I will take that night and day, if you can do that. That's why wiring an amplifier to your system correctly is key. You kind of can get stuck with, power, but, if you can run more than 1 amplifier and do it, because those are the benefits, not just power output, but the efficiency of the amplifier. Now, it does come with some trade-offs. You have to properly gain match and set the crossover points to make the amplifiers work in unison. But the nice thing about the Warhorse amplifiers, you don't have to do anything other than click a button. And that's the competition mode. It locks the gain. It opens the crossovers wide open. So everything is linear, or parallel, should I say, and it works like 1 amplifier. And I think that is awesome that they have that. So, yes, good question, man. Thank you for tuning in, Eric. You guys are awesome. Man, Class BD, Class WX, that was a class of its own. Luca, Andy, I don't know what I should do. I've convinced myself to do 2 Solo X18s ported, but the most I can fit is about 13 cubes internal after all displacement. You know, the one thing that I've learned with multiple subwoofers in the same box, it's not that you need, okay, so the Solo X18 needs 7.5 cubes of airspace. Now, can you get away with a little bit less? Do you need that 15 is what I'm trying to get at? And the port area, if it's requiring 125 square inches of port area, just because you have two, do you need 15 cubes and 250 square inches of port area? It doesn't exactly work like that. Now, you can get some really fancy box calculators and figure it out, like, you know, with port velocity and all that fun stuff, but it doesn't always equate like that just by multiplying them. So the thing is, you know, you might be better off with two 15s so that you can get the proper box, or you can also, if it's not too much of a difference, if you're a little bit smaller than you want to be, you know, make sure you have that power to make up that difference. And again, it's still going to change, you know, but still it'll help out. So I think 13 cubes should be enough, just because, you know, and then maybe since it's a little bit smaller per se, maybe a little bit more port area than you were first thinking. Just to try to balance things out. I know with my experience of building boxes, you know, if I would build a box that was like, okay, really small, like think of a prefab box that's small, and then the port area is pretty big, you know, you're always smacked right at that 16 cubes per inch, and that's what people always say, you know, roll of thumb, 12 to 16, but you notice they're at 16, and I've had a lot of success with enclosures that were, quote, oversized or farther up that spectrum, and then the port area was a little bit lower. Even if you use the KICKER app, it'll kind of tell you the same thing for minimum and maximum recommended enclosures, because it shows you that, you know, the range and whatever. So it'll actually sometimes, not always, it depends what you're trying to do and how far of a difference it is. But yes, you know, the bigger enclosure might not need, oh, it needs more port area. It actually might need a little bit less because you have such a big air spring to fill, and the port, in a sense, needs to have some kind of loading. You know, it just needs something, you know. That's my experience with it. That's what I did with Cookie Monster. I mean, that thing is like 8 square inches per cube. You know, port, it's only a 10-inch port, 78 square inches, and it's like around 10 cubes. So do the math. But it works, you know? So, and there's other, you know, stuff too. Physics will physic. It really will. Thank you, Luca. Appreciate you, man. We got 19 likes, 45 watching. Would you just smash the like already? Come on.
Just hit the like.
Just hit the like. You just gotta hit the like. Let's see. Aiming for 60 soon. Okay, Kip says, if the amplifier has a true 1500 damping factor, you will probably find it sounds sterile. You know, I mean, I don't know what that number means correlating to that, but, you know, even with like the, you know, the perfect Q of 0.707, you know, and I've even heard, like, you know, that could sound, you know, quote, in your words, sterile, you know, but it's supposedly perfect, you know, so it all depends, you know, I don't know. Thank you, Kip. It's like porridge, too cold, too hot, just right. You gotta have it just right, man. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. All right, let's scroll down here. Whoa, sorry that happened. Nah, shoot, man. When it rains, it pours, man. When it rains, it pours. And absolutely, Cracker, prayers to Stillwater. They're gonna need it. They're gonna need it. Thank you for tuning in, Mac. What's up? How you been, man? Shannon, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Kip, opinion on high-res amps, 35 kilohertz. Now, to me, that's wasted information. Anything above 20,000, anything above 16 for me, you know. It's but right, you know, you kind of want it, I guess, to be able to play up there, so that you have more of that crystal top-end sound. Like, you don't want to be. Think of it like this, you know. If you listen to like old radio shows, you know, or talk to somebody on a phone, it's not 20 to 20, man. That thing is rolled off at like 8,000 hertz. And you never want an amplifier to cut off, because it's going to muffle the sound and make it sound more of like a broad sound. Broad? No. I'm done. Love you guys. Rob Payne, love the show. Could you shed some light as to what a subwoofer 0 and 180 phase does on a head unit? I figured I'd ask the pro. Keep living loud with that 18-inch Solo X. Absolutely, man, and thank you so much for the kind words. Now, with phase and flipping the polarity, because that's what you're doing from that 0 to 180. If you went to 360, it would just put it back to 0. Circle, think of it like that. Now, in my experience with the phase, you know, there are some differences. Like when you're playing with it, that's my advice to you. Play a lot of different songs. Try it 0, try it 180. And you will notice in most setups, you'll get a little bit more front bass out of your car. And I don't know why that is, but then it also makes your door speakers sound a little bit muddier, where things are starting to blend more because of how those waves are coupling or gnawing in the vehicle. So I'm not a professional on that subject, but my advice is to try it and see how it works for you. Best case scenario, just keep it at 0. The only time I've really noticed a gain of flipping it in my vehicles is if, like, you know, I was trying to gear it a little bit more for SQ, and I was just, for some reason, I don't know if it was a placebo effect, I felt like I was getting a little bit more mid bass, but then the louder bass at a different frequency wasn't quite as loud, or it just sounded a little bit different, or things were vibrating a little bit different in the car. And there's so many variables. I feel like the most important thing would be is if you would have, say you have a woofer this way, right? And you have like a wall. Did you ever see like walls, like speakers firing against each other? I feel like that is when it's really important, so that they're either firing towards each other or they're firing opposite, rather than flipping the speaker wire. Because if you flip the speaker wire, it's essentially doing the same thing. So good question. Thank you, Rob. And I think we got a super chat or something here, because it is moving on. Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
I'm looking at it, Garrick. I'm so excited. I got my new Sky High prototype, or Sky High Pro tweet. Oh, come on. Thank you, Chad, for joining the green team, though, man. Appreciate you. Welcome back. I know people are just the email switching and stuff. No, you guys are amazing. The green team. I see you guys repping on St. Patty's Day. Appreciate you. I'm so excited. I got my new Sky High SH Pro tweeters, super tweeters, yesterday. My advice with super tweeters, don't blow your ears out. And once you lose that hearing, it's gone forever. My buddy John, he loves his super tweeters, you know, and he always loved it a little bit hot, you know, and he was running like the KICKER KS 6x9s, you know, 3.5s, and it was loud, you know, and I'm like, man, it sounds good, but it's loud, but it's good. And then he got the Street Series, and he still had the 3.5s. with the 2-inch STs, super tweeters, just like what you got there. And why does that keep coming up there? And it's hot. And I got out of his car and I'm like, woo, are your ears ringing? And he said no. I'm like, that. Okay, it's too late to tell you. It's gone. Try to keep it down. Super tweeters are they're very efficient. They're very loud, and they're meant to just pierce through all the bass. And what we do, man, just be careful with them. That's my advice for super tweeters. That is my advice. Appreciate you so much, Garrick. Again, thank you for the LLWA bass knob and just all your support, man. Budget Audio with Jay. What's up, Andy? My brother from another mother. I've been trying to do new videos on my new channel, but nursing hours are crazy. Thank you for tuning in, man. And, you know, the thing that I would say with the YouTube stuff, like me doing live streams, you know, kind of limits me a little bit. Given the situation now, I got a little bit more free time soon. But do videos because you want to do them, and don't think, well, man, people aren't going to like this. Just put out stuff. Don't make it just, oh, I didn't even edit it. Here you go. Just do it because you like it, and just get stuff out there, man. I started to do that until a few things unraveled recently here, and I was having fun. I'm like, wow, look at the analytics. People are looking at it. That is great. So just keep doing what you do, man. Thank you for tuning in and just being part of the community. Keep it up. You know, I hate to see any car audio YouTuber, social media guy ever just kind of turn off the gas, you know? So just keep it going, man. Keep it going. Basshead Cook, nobody likes bassheads. Oh, no. You know what? I feel like that is half true, you know, and some do, some don't. That police officer was very nice, and I'm going to have to find him on Facebook here. I mean, I was in Cookie Monster, so you see like all these stickers, YouTube, living loud with Andy, you know, and it's just like, all right, this guy is probably not causing trouble here. Marcus Daniels, thank you for hanging out on Facebook. Garrick, half a song, usually dip when I'm out of town. Right, yeah, you don't want to, yes. I mean, I usually wait a block. About a block. They're like, oh, there he goes. Let's see. Class A, Class AB, Class H, you forgot Class WX, aka the Warhorse 1.0. Been using WinZid for the last week or so. You know, I've heard it's a steep learning curve. You know, I've never really messed. Wow, I know, right? I've never never really messed with them too much. Honestly, I know a lot of guys that don't even mess with any design software, and they are loud and like doing like 53, 54s on 212s on like 4K. Sometimes you just learn how things work. Software is great to get you where you want to be, but at the end of the day, it's still practice and the vehicle and your obvious goals as well. I mean, I feel a lot better since Friday. Friday was rough. Ashy Larry, what is up? Howdy. Appreciate you again, man, and thank you for contributing the L78 prototype for the 10K giveaway. And Vicky is gonna love that thing. She's gonna love it. She was geeked, man. She's like, was that me? Because you know the location thing never really quite works. I was like, oh yeah, that's you. That's you. Congratulations and thank you again. MMC is in here. Appreciate you. You know, I love when I just start to see newer people start to always tune in, and it means that I'm doing something good. So thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out, and you guys are awesome. John, appreciate you. How you been, man? If you haven't taken a look at it, check out the 14.4 Talk podcast on Spotify. All right, let me pull up the few things. Let's see here. Okay, we did the donation thing there. I wanted to... Let's go back here. Aha, no, here it is. Okay, so I wanted to share this. We got the Hertz Locker, and his build was actually build of the week last week with 4 L7X12s in a quad box configuration. It's beautiful. I know. Just look at it. Just look at it. It's beautiful. You know, everyone's like, can I put L7Xs in a quad box? Well, you can always make your own too. And I love it. Like, it literally is the quad box, man. That's beautiful. Awesome work, man. And he put up his score. Let's see here on 2,900 watts, but each amplifier, and it's freezing again. I'm going to have to take a look at my thing here. I don't know why that's freezing. I'm going to have to unswitch my ATEM. For some reason, I'm having issues, just like how stream... Yep. I think what it is this is overheating. I've had that issue before, and I seen Ernie have that issue, and he has the same switcher as me, but it's not... His is a lot bigger. His is a lot bigger. Oh, man, come on. Really? I can't share anything. As soon as I go there, it just freezes. Yeah, Ernie, that's definitely your switcher, man. That's definitely your switcher, and that thing is hot. That thing is hot. All right, cool. So he did a 152.9. I mean, I think I did have it as screen for capacitor. Oh, okay, we got that screen. Hold on. I could do that one. Ooh. Here we go. Because I wanted to share this. It's just all super zoomed in. Let me see if I can zoom out on this. Yeah, that's really zoomed in. Good. Good. Now, if I go here, you're not going to be able to see me, but so we can see what we're doing. He did a 152.9 with that L7X quad box on 6K. And then we're going to bring up... Here's a little demo footage of it. Oh, come on. There we go. I gotta turn that up. There we go. There's the beans. There is the beans. I'm glad I got a lot of camera switchers on here. One breaks, I got another. That's the L7X quad box 153 build. We're gonna give it to him. Freaking awesome, man. Awesome stuff. And then I wanted to also pull this up. We got Joe Keenan's build here. We gotta look at this thing. Just look at it. Just so you know, it's probably going to be Kicker Build of the Week next week. This thing is awesome. It's got the shag. You had me at hello. You had me at hello. Aero port in the back. He's got a Teramp 8K on it. 2 L7X12s. And then his sodium bank with Kicker. How cool is that? And there's his Teramp 8K, and there's his down for sound. I think that's a JP234. But of course, with the blue shag, beautiful, and I love it, man. Just wait. I'm telling you, once you put shag in your car, it just starts to grow everywhere. That's what happens. You put one piece there, and you wake up in the morning, and then it's everywhere. It just grew overnight. Oh, man. I wanted to share that. I wish everything else was working over here, but I mean, that's fine. I had that screen share for something entirely else, so I'm just glad that worked for that. Let me pull this back over here so I just can look at stuff. I know, I wanted to show off the L7X. Oh, no. I am just misfiring now. The tabs are moving. We're not grooving. Oh my goodness, it's so big now because it's off of the other lower resolution monitor. Oh my goodness. Always something. Either way, I'll keep it brief that the L7X 3000.1, and I know they touched on it a little bit tonight, versus the Warhorse 3600 watt amplifier. Now, they're both significantly underrated, and the clamp power per losing voice, clamp power per ohm, we'll say 4 ohm, 2 ohm, 1 ohm. From what I'm seeing of just their rating on the box, it's like 300, 400, and 500 watt difference. 600, 400, 500, 600 watt of 4, 2, and 1 ohm respectively. Between the two, you got the 3000, 3600. Okay, set your down. So, with them being overrated or underrated, should I say, that they do more. We seen that tonight. You know, we got, what was it, like over 4,000 watts, yada yada, a lot of power out of that 3,000, and we've seen 5K plus out of the Warhorse 3600. So you can kind of take that with a grain of salt, how much more power you're going to get between the two amplifiers, and it's only $100 more. So, you know, the LX amplifier is a great option, you know, and it has a lot more bells and whistles than the Warhorse does for maybe sound. And then the Warhorse, you know, you can't gain match two LX 3000.1s. That's the difference. If you're going big, you go Warhorse. It's that simple, man. It is that simple. Let's see here. Let me catch back up on the comments here. Sorry. I don't know what happened here. Is this working again? Oh, it's working now. Look at that. I told you it overheated. Look at that. Now it's working. Ernie, your ATEM is overheating. That's what it is. I literally split them apart because I usually have them apart. And I've been moving things around here. I put them right beside each other, and the fan has nowhere to go. And that's just like they were talking about tonight with like the SNR values going down on an amplifier whenever it gets hot. Things don't like to work when they get hot. Heat is the killer of all technology, all electronics. But I know 90% of you guys already know that. Now, let's talk about the sun. The sun from China. Yes, I mean, that works too. That works. I mean, the sun is in China. It's here too. So speaking on super tweeters, I'm wanting to incorporate the ST tweets only because they are square, but crossing over to tweets to be the primary so I don't blow my ears out. Right. Oh, yeah. You're going to want to cross those over anyway. And they do come included with their crossovers and resistors so that you can run them in line with any, like, 4-channel amplifier connected to your other speaker so that it doesn't need its own crossover. Like, it's going to have its own crossover built in. So that's nice that they supply that. But in my experience, I like having all the control and a separate dedicated channel. Not everybody can do it, but for the super tweeters. But that's what's cool about the LX 1300.7, that you got 7 channels. So then you get to do that. So absolutely, man. Play at your own risk. Shannon, LX and WX amps are safe at half ohm if your electrical system and alternator, proper wiring, and batteries are upgraded. Well, I wanted them to do a half ohm test on the UnMasked show tonight because I know it can't, quote, do it, right? It might be able to, but it's going to run into overcurrent limit, not as in for the DC inrush, like, oh, it's pulling 400 amps. Talking about on the output section of the amplifier. If you ever notice not everybody has an SPL lab, but if you have an SPL lab or if you've ever competed and they have the right settings up for volts and amps, you can see your rise, right? So you divide the two, that's how you get your ohms, right? Well, there's a current thing. I don't know if this is scientific or not, but it seems like it's when I see that number, it just goes, boom, it's done. So they have a limit of the amount of current that, is out the amplifier section. So on the CX 1800.1s, it's around like 30-ish amps out. So you have like 60 volts, 30 amps, 1800 watts, 2 ohms. And the 1 ohm version, kind of doesn't quite do that exactly. It goes a little bit lower, it's like, I forget what it was. I think 45, it kind of rears down on the voltage, but then the current goes a little bit higher than the 2 ohm version, but to still get that, 1800 watts, but it actually does like 2100, 2200 watts. So it's a little bit different, a little bit more power in my experience. So that is where you're going to run into a problem at half ohm. Okay, so the Warhorse amplifiers, the ones that I've tested, I'm usually around like 80 volts, give or take. Maybe there's more in the tank. Maybe I just need to turn my gain up. But there's going to be a current limiter, and I don't know what that is yet because I've never had them shut off. And to see that on the Warhorse would be kind of impressive. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it could do a half ohm resistive load. I'm trying to remember if it did on Derek's dyno, because I'm pretty sure that he would do it in half ohm with his big amp dyno battery power supply testing stuff. But either way, that's the thing you got to look out for any amplifier. And that's why people run them at half ohm, and they were talking about it tonight, because you never see that. As soon as you put power to it, that woofer starts moving, that resistance changes. It goes from half to 1 to 2 ohm. And then you're seeing what the amplifier does on the dyno at 1 and 2 ohm and probably 13 volts in your car. Right? It's not 14.4 unless you got amazing electrical and, charge higher. So there's always that, man. Thank you, Shannon. Let's see here. MMC, the sun sounds great. Taurus, every brand but KICKER. Oh, man. I'm not going to tell you to just buy some KICKER, but, man, you got to give them a chance. You at least got to look at them, and then you got to listen to them, too. I feel like the biggest reason why KICKER ever gets a bad name, it's not for the quality. And when you get deeper into it, people are like, it's overpriced. But, dude, it's one of the biggest brands nationwide, You know, it just kind of like, it's global too. So a lot of people can go to their local stereo shop, their local Walmart, their local Best Buy, and buy KICKER. So they get a bad name from a lot of people that just don't know what they're doing. And you know what? I am happy. And that's why I love doing what I do, to teach people. I've done that. You know, I love doing that. And I also do, like, you know, oh yeah, man, you know, run some Kenwood or whatever. You know, it's not just that. I love KICKER, but, you know, if you do things right, it'll last a lifetime. It really will. Thank you for tuning in, though. Appreciate you. I don't have anything in my car. I'm broke, and my car's in a tow yard. Oh, that's no good. That's no good then. I mean, I feel like once you get the car going, maybe throw some KICKERs in there. Timu amps bust out nowadays. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's not even the brand. It's not where it's coming from. Like, our parents always told us, you get what you pay for. You know, that's it. And sometimes you might be paying for something you don't need. And that's why KICKER makes the Warhorse. You know, maybe you don't want the LX with all the LEDs and all the fancy, you know, things. Warhorse, more power, you know, and just fun stuff, you know. Maybe you just want to just float babies and you're not even putting your head in the car. Maybe that $400 8K will work, you know, and you run it perfect, you know. It's fine if you know what you're doing, to a point. All right, let's see. Rob Payne, why don't you go work for KICKER? I think you'd be a great asset for them. I love doing what I do, Rob. I really do, and I love doing this. And me and KICKER, it's the dynamic duo, man. It really is. Thank you, Rob. And that's why I've been doing this for at least, I would say, steady 3 years. Live stream every Tuesday, every Friday. And I appreciate you for that. And thank you so much for tuning in. Your kind words go a mile, man. John, thank you for hanging out. Andy, I'm here, buddy. Love you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Did you look at it? Did you actually look at it? Or did you just look at it and say, would you look at that? He started it all. It was bad. We just started looking at it. Okay, cool. I'm like caught up with the comments. Holy moly. I must have been ranting for a while. The Warhorse in competition mode is better equipped for half-ohm operation. Now, right. And I feel like that's because, bear with me, Kip, because you guys kind of loosen up the restrictions of voltage, and I wouldn't say output, maybe output. It could be output with that, but, you know, of just that, you know, of being able to, you know, let loose a little bit, less restrictions and less of a protection circuit ingoing, shutting the amplifier off before destruction. Because I don't know if you've ever put a KICKER amp in protect. They don't blow up. They go and protect, they come back on, right? It's great. Now, other amplifiers that don't have as much protective features built inside, they keep going until they blow up. But they're giving you that. So maybe the Warhorse goes to that point, but a little bit higher, but not to the ultimate point of destruction right away. You know, and I feel like it's a competition amplifier. It's meant for big power in a small space. Everyone's like, why did you get rid of the 10K? Well, it's sitting right over there. One, it's a little bit softer on my speakers, to put it bluntly. And then two, it's half the size. I could run 4 of those Warhorses, have 20,000 watts in the same amount of space as that 10K old school Warhorse, with all the competition strapping features, gain matching, the whole 9 built in. And it's just night and day, rather than do I wire this coil 1 with coil 1 with coil 1 with coil 1 and being stuck, you know, with a 1 ohm load with 4 dual 4 drivers on the Warhorse, because it's 1 coil per channel. It's weird. It's its own amplifier class. It really is. Extremo, thank you for tuning in, man. I see your content. Thank you for sharing as well. Keep up the car audio dream, man. And thanks for tuning in. Gold letter 18s, and I'll resubscribe. You know, man, the gold letter did come back. 10, 12, 15. No 18s, but man, you know, I feel like there is still a market, huge market for entry-ish level 18. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out, Steve. Hear me out, Ernie, Kip, whoever's watching, John. Just like how they had the CVR 18. That thing is, for some reason, it's got the highest resale market value on eBay. I just don't understand it. Like, it's an awesome driver. But, like, holy moly. If they would bring back something like that, because they got the L7X18. I know, here I am. I finally got my 18. I want another one. But hear me out. For the priced consumer that's not an L7X18, it's $900. For, I know it's not a huge market because you can't just fit an 18 in every trunk and sedan. You're talking wagon, almost quad box customer, right? But still, just to have that there, just like the gold 18, but of like a comp VR or even a comp 18 or, you know, anything like that. An L7R 18, you know, not, you could do the S, but I feel like you might as well just go like an L7S18. I think would be pretty similar to the old Solo X18. Something a little bit, you know. I mean, it could be square. I mean, I'm fine with that too. You know, like a little baby. I mean, maybe this is the baby. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I can't say anything. You know, man, there's something in my eye. I got to clean my ceiling tiles. I'm a little rusty at that. You got it. You get what you pay for. If the best is the best, you gotta pay the price. Kicker for life. And you know what? That's one thing I do not lose sleep over at night is my amplifier gonna blow up? Is my car gonna catch on fire with all the shag? No. It's quality stuff. I would not be putting cheaper amplifiers that may or may not survive in a car full of shag that I've seen in so many videos catch fire. You know, I got a lot of shag. Everyone's like, man, you worry about that thing catching on fire. I'm okay because of that. I'm okay. I mean, there's always a bad situation could happen. That's why Slamology, I bring a fire extinguisher. You just never know, man. You just never know. Yes. Okay. Bingo. The protection. See, I don't know these things, Kip. I just guess. The protection circuit is a little more forgiving in competition mode on the Warhorse. Bingo. That is awesome, and that makes sense. You know, so that's why it would be a better choice for half ohm operation, since that window is enlarged to keep the amplifier super safe to safe. But you're in competition mode. You already know what you're doing. You knew the job was dangerous when you took it, you know? Thank you for tuning in on UnMasked and here, Ram. I love my Warhorses. Have 4 3600s and I'm about to order 4 1000.4s. I still need to order them, but man, I'm going to miss my 400.4s, the KXAs. That clip detection, you know, I could drive down the street and just adjust my gain, see if I'm clipping it or not. That was nice. Maybe I could see if NGA William could make me a bass knob that can read THD. That would be cool too for any kind of tuning, just on the fly rather than bringing out my whole SPL lab. That would be nice, you know. Then I might not need those, and more power the merrier. But yes, the 1000.4s, man. I want to see more on them. You know, I know they're just a 4-channel. Everyone's after the 3600.1, but still, an awesome amplifier. I could just tell by looking at it. I was supposed to order some. I think it was this December, January, into the new quarter. So much has happened. I'm not worried about it, but I do want to get those eventually to show them on the channel, have them, get my input on them. So yes, we do like we like input here. Let's see. Man, I was gonna keep it to like a half an hour, 40 minutes because it ran late, but we already did that, almost that hour. That is awesome. Competition mode. Dub, if you wire down a half and the amplifier does not go into protection, leave it off unless you are needing the other coil. Competition mode feature. The other competition mode features. Right, you know, because, you know, with the competition mode, you lose access to, quote me, the bass knob, right? So it locks out the bass knob, because if you had one bass knob connected to it, doesn't daisy chain to it, you can get the two bass knob. I don't know if that would work. I still don't think that would work. You would have to keep it out of competition mode, Kip, to run the dual bass knob for the Warhorses, or I think it's almost any kicker amplifier with a 3.5 jack, so like the CXA 1800, stuff like that. But when you put it in competition mode, my experience, I lost control of the bass knob, because let me tell you, the first time I hit it, I started playing the system and I put on volume like 10. It was just, I'm like, whoa, what the? That's a lot louder. And I tried turning it down on the bass knob and it didn't do anything. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I don't need it for that. So to gain control of the bass knob, you're going to have to use a universal bass knob, but Kicker actually does sell that. And I know we barely even I mean, we did talk about it. Let me pull that up here for a second. The dual, not the dual bass knob, but the universal bass knob that they have. Because I mean, we could talk about both. I think they should have them in here on the website. Yes. All right. Is it working now? Beautiful. Too hot. Okay, Ernie, I'm telling you, it's ATEM. I thought it was StreamYard, it's ATEM. That's what it is, Ern. All right, so dual amp bass remote, that was the first one I'm talking about here. And then the universal one is the one you would need when you're putting it in competition mode, because then it controls it by the RCAs that you see right here. And I mean, that one is not included. You get the 3.5 version in the box with your Warhorse, so there is that. But yes, if you're running competition mode, I feel like there's no point to run competition mode unless you're running two amplifiers together. You know, I think that's really what it's for. And if you're just trying to get every ounce of it, like we're talking about, so it has less of protection features being triggered and all that fun stuff. And by the way, I'm not live on TikTok tonight. I don't know what the heck happened. I not approved or revoked, apply again. TikTok guideline, next 30 days you'll be able to participate. Yeah, I'm good on TikTok. I tried. I just push the streams out like I do here. I barely even post anything in TikTok and something happens, so I'm good. I'll just start reposting it on my Facebook channel. Yeah, do that. A little bit more important anyway, but I wanted to try to branch out to TikTok. And that just happened. I was like, wow, you know, sad, but it is what it is. All right. Let's see. Okay, cool. All right. So I did want to show off this. This was the Kicker build of the week this week. L7X12s, custom enclosure. That's a big box, big port, big bass. Oh, there's Oakley. We'll get to Oakley there. But he's got two of the Warhorses. This would be the perfect time to run your amplifiers in competition mode. Not that you're running two Warhorses on one sub, but you're running two Warhorses in the same box, even if it was in different boxes, to two different subs, so that they are aligned together when they're playing bass. That's the main reason why you want to use the competition mode for most cases. You know, otherwise you just want to get every ounce out of it. There you go. And yeah, Oakley repping the Living Loud with Andy t-shirt, Johnny 5 edition today. Went outside, rode the moped. We had some fun, you know, and it's a Tuesday, so there's always something going on, and there's Joe's stuff there. Cool. And speaking of Joe, awesome job tonight on the UnMasked show. Man, it's just, I got to get him on the show. Ever since Streamlabs kicked the bucket, I had to fix a lot of things. I have to test one more time so I can bring on a guest, and I need to bring him on. I feel like he is the next Kicker employee that needs to come on. We got to get Steve on one day too. But that's a big move. That's a big move. Anthony A, I think they were much older model. I'll post in the Discord. Thank you for tuning in, Anthony. Let's see here. We got Chad. Have a good one, Bobby. Wait, Bobby's here? Where's Bobby? Oh, my goodness. I was going to say, I can't end a stream.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
Thanks for tuning in, Bobby. Always first to all the UnMasked shows, and this show as well. Solo X Silverado, kinda like stock car racing and Indy built to compete for the win. Right. It's like, whatever, like subwoofers, amplifiers, enclosures, the whole package. What is it designed to do? Go around a track at 200 miles an hour, or to 200 miles an hour as fast as it can get there? And that's where you have to have class brackets of what you're trying to compare. You can't compare an L7X to a KICKER Comp Q. I'm sorry, you just can't. They're meant for two different things. You know, maybe if you had like a hybrid in the middle, that would be, then you can compare that one, right? I mean, hey, you never know. KICKER is number one in my book, says Chad. Thank you, Chad. Absolutely. Sorry, Sony mode. Sony mode. Sony mode. Andy, are you in competition mode? Absolutely. When I was running it by itself, no, so that I could have control of the bass knob. But in Cookie Monster, the past year it's been out, yes. Yes. In competition mode because I have 1 amp on each coil. So I've always told people that too, when you're running 2 amplifiers on like 2 woofers. You know, the normal person is going to put 1 amplifier on 1 speaker, the other amplifier on the other speaker. And there's actually a way that you can, if you're wiring in parallel, I mean, I guess you could do series too. You just have to wire up. But if you wire them together, instead of just running 1 amp on 1 woofer, you would run 1 amp on coil 1, 1 amp on coil 1 on the other amp, or 1 amp on coil 1 of subwoofer 1, and on subwoofer 2, coil 1, back to that same first amp. And that can help with a little bit of bass, you know, and there's always that. Can you just do it? Sure. You know, I've played around with it, see what it does, even with like that kind of wiring setup, with just like the 2 woofers and the quad box, by doing it that way or rewiring it to everything on 1 coil on 1 amp. And, you know, you do see the woofers moving a little bit more. They're flexing a little bit differently. But if you have all of them on coil 1 and the other amplifier all on coil 2, the speakers all just move more or less, and it's always together, because once you turn 1 amp up, then the speaker starts moving more, you know, because then you're applying more power. I think it's the best way when you're doing that stuff, and wiring configuration can get kind of, I don't know, get kind of confusing. Really can. I'm always in competition mode, though, like in life. Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate you hanging out with us. And did I hear Tuesday? Tuesday. You just got to look at Tuesday and say, would you look at that? It is Tuesday. It's always KICKER Unmasked, kicking it with Andy. We're kicking it somewhere. And I appreciate you guys all hanging out. And love you guys so much. Man, this was an awesome show. I'm not going to keep you here all night. And I will see you guys Friday, as long as the earth doesn't flip upside down and we have an earthquake next. I mean, Aaliyah's friend did say it sounded like an earthquake, so it might be coming. Couldn't have been Cookie. There's no way. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you guys Friday. And if not, we got Kicking It With Andy Tuesday. And thank you for watching. And as always, stay living loud. I'll see you guys on the next one. That was fun. That was fun.
Okay. So we're kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. We living loud.
honestly sad. I'm honestly sad. I love this shirt. I love you guys more though. And thank you so much for watching. Please stay living low. Cornut coming in early. Cornut, Cornut, Cornut. Cornut, 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 Cornut.
Live and laugh with Andy.
Thank you, John. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My thing was like, man, they're going to ask, where can I get it? And I'm going to be like, you can't. I made it by myself. No, it's... Thank you, guys. I love you. And Cornut came in extra early, but then he comes in on clutch. He said, thank you, Kibo, last Friday. Thank you, Cornut. Love you so much. And thank you. I will see you guys on Friday. But we got to dance first, and then we crank it.